Before we hear these pitches, let's welcome to the stage Portland Seed Fund's Devon Horace, Early Stage Moderator. Devon is a principal and Portland Seed Fund, an early-stage venture capital fund that invests in capital-efficient, high-growth companies in Oregon and around the Pacific Northwest. Devon brings valuable experience as an angel investor, serial entrepreneur, philanthropist, and business advisor, investing in numerous companies across various sectors, including real estate, fintech, health tech, cannabis, clean energy technology, and more. He is an investor in multiple funds, including Portland Seed Fund's FiOR and Oregon Venture Fund. Born and raised in New York, Devon graduated from St. Joseph's College in Brooklyn, New York, with a bachelor's degree in psychology focused on human behavior and cognitive psychology. He earned his MBA at Concordia University, Portland, focusing on leadership and management. Please welcome Devon.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you all hear me? What an intro. I feel good up here. How's it going? What a beautiful day in Bend today, huh? Yeah? The same energy you guys had when I walked out, let's keep that energy for the entrepreneurs that's going to be pitching up here. I mean, some of us have done this, but it's a bit much up here. So let's show them some love and support as they pitch. Portland Seed Fund is proud to return as a sponsor this year, and the 5 companies pitching today is going to be pitching for a chance at $25,000. Now, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to use for your company to pitch to invest. And with that $25,000, a chance to win it, they're going to have 3 minutes on stage here to pitch to you, the audience. And after, I know you guys have heard this many a times, but after, you're going to go to menti.com, submit your questions, and we're going to introduce the next company or the next pitch. Sounds good? All right, cool. So the first early stage company joining us is Finnegan the Dragon from Hillsboro, Oregon. Finnegan the Dragon is the first preschool curriculum and mobile gaming system that targets language development for better learning outcomes. Please welcome Emily Cadiz.
Thank you, BVC, for having us. We're thrilled to be here. Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm the founder of Finnegan the Dragon. I'm thrilled to actually be able to present today. You see, I was a special education teacher, and several years ago, I suffered a traumatic brain injury in the classroom, leaving me with the inability to turn thoughts into words. But it was through my own recovery that I was able to come up with a solution to a problem that was much bigger than my own. Before the pandemic, and certainly after, early childhood speech and language development rates were on a steady and steep decline. In fact, in 2021, less than 50% of all 6-year-olds met speech and language development milestones, forcing the CDC to lower those rates for the first time in almost 40 years. They cited 2 root causes. 1, reduced communication in the home, and 2, increased consumption of passive screen time. Thus, Finnegan the Dragon was born, and we provide a solution to both problems. So while we cannot force communication in the home, we can provide curriculum to early learners that targets speech and language development. We call this speech to print, and it harnesses the science of reading and marries that with the power of music for better reading readiness. But second, we offer an online interactive gaming platform that relies on vocal interaction and takes that classroom learning and carries it into the home, essentially changing passive screen time into active learning moments. And our learning system has been warmly and welcomed into Head Start of Oregon. Their feedback, along with dozens of parents, clinicians, and teachers, are helping us target mid to large-size institutions and really impacting the $1.5 billion pre-K educational market. Our team is poised and ready to go for this wonderful venture. We have over 150 years of combined classroom and clinical experience. We have over 80 years of combined marketing experience. We have several CEOs who are successful in their own rights in the educational technology sector, as well as one guy who's won a few Emmys for his work with children's animation. So, while we are proud to know that our product meets the needs of our customers and also a dire need in the educational sector, we also are proud to offer investors a way to make a difference with their dollars. So thank you so much, and I look forward to your questions.
I'm Greg Robinson. I'm actually Emily's partner in marketing. I'm not 80, but our team itself does have 80 years. So I'm going to join her for any questions about marketing. And
No, absolutely. Thanks for joining the stage. I like that jacket. All right. We got Minty, right? Please submit some questions. Don't be shy. There's a lot of questions out there.
Devon, do you think I could ask a question while we wait for the audience questions to come in?
Please, get started.
So,
please.
Emily, how did you settle on the character of Finnegan the Dragon?
I settled on the character by doing a lot of research. I worked in the classroom for 20 years, and so I did understand what children were drawn to. But there is a lot of research out there done by Sesame Street, Disney, on the shape of the faces that animation characters are really what children are drawn to, the shape of the eyes, the colors, green, blue. They all have a purpose and an intent, so it's not just random. And then my nephew liked it, so. Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. So Menti.com, our code is 771899796 if you have questions for Emily. Devon, what about you? You have any questions for Emily?
Of course I do.
Oh,
of
here's
course.
one.
Of course.
What are the key drivers for growth?
The key drivers for growth are, well, I'll let you answer for sales. Would you like to go ahead? Okay.
Actually, yeah, one of the key drivers is just making a great statement, great splash, having a great brand. We just finished all of our digital assets last week and launched those. Tuesday night, we were fortunate enough to have a 8-minute story on KGW TV in Portland, which is the NBC affiliate, and that was aired again last night, and it's going to air again tomorrow night. And at 8 minutes, at about $1,000 a minute for airtime, we and the production, we got kicked off this week totally by serendipity of the timing with about a $60,000 push from Channel 8. So that's one of our key drivers, and it's just making sure when we get out there that we're consistent, that we're honest, and that we're authentic with the product we're selling.
Awesome. I saw 2 more questions, so let's get some questions up here. There we go. So what is your target customer, and is it a typical software subscription model?
Our target customer is going to fall into 4 different categories of the market. It is a little fractured, but we have small, mid, large, and what we call extra large, or the white whale, institutional sales. Those would be your KinderCares and your Primroses. Right now, we're really targeting mid and large, so Head Start, smaller ESDs. And, it went away. Okay, what was the second part to that question? That would be our target market for now. And is it typical? There's nothing typical in pre-K. This is a very new venture. I spent 2 weeks at EdTech in New York City. And there is no one doing what we're doing, and we've received overwhelming feedback from many of the superintendents that attended that. They are a little bit like a fish out of water with pre-K. They're not used to children this young being in their buildings, so they're looking for products that will not only meet the needs of the families, but really tie those families back into the community.
Thank you, Emily. So next question, and by the way, thank you all for submitting the questions. This is good. This is good. Can you describe exactly how the product works?
Yes, so there's 2 parts of the product. There's the classroom element. That's speech to print. It's been around a very, very long time, but unfortunately in our pre-K space, speech to print is typically used by speech language pathologists in a clinical setting only. It's not really something that's provided to all all teachers, not in the pre-K space, not in K-12. As you probably have heard, the science of reading is coming back, and we are going to be focusing on both phonological awareness as well as phonics. That is the core to instruction in the classroom, so that is, again, where did it go? But that is how that works in the classroom. We teach to the phonemes of the English language. When you couple that with a device that really makes the child practice those phonemes through song, not through reading, because they can't, they're 2 and 3 and 4, you have this continued extension of what they've learned directly from a teacher, but on the screen. And it's picking up their voice in real time, iterating around the needs of that child, and making sure that they are mastering each level of instruction as you go through both the classroom work and the online game.
Emily and Finnegan of the Dragon, beautiful pitch. Thank you so much. I'm wishing you the best of luck. This is incredible. Deb and Devon, you take it away.
Awesome. Again, thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so next to present is Paul Tice with FiOR Innovations from Bend, Oregon. Oh, all right. He's from here, so he should get some love. Bend, Oregon. FiOR Innovations is a robust construction management software for the architecture, engineering, and construction industries. Oh, I love this. I love this. So, Paul, take it away.
Okay. Remote. Thanks BVC for this. And first of all, my name is Paul Tice. I'm the CEO and founder of FiOR Innovations, a software company based right here in Bend, Oregon. And I'd like to start by having the slides advance to the next one. Okay, we might do it slideless. We'll see how it goes. Nope. Interesting. Okay. Let's see what happens if I push this button. I think I'm going to burn my time, so we're just going to go into it. All right, so I want to tell you a story about a contractor. And she was required to do a bathroom remodel. And through that process, she had to move a drain from one position to another. So to do that, she had to cut through a concrete floor. So she got down on her knee and she started cutting, and within a few seconds, she felt a pop, and then the floor exploded. And frankly, in that moment, she didn't know what hit her. But what hit her was a post-tension cable. And that cable is designed to support concrete foundations, and it's under thousands of pounds of pressure. And so contractors do this all the time, unfortunately and tragically, as they're hitting things they don't know that's there, including gas lines and power lines. So what we've done with FiOR Innovations is we've created a streaming technology to get that data, that as-built data, or the data like high-resolution photos or drone maps, and even construction drawings into their hand through a phone, through a browser, based on where they're standing, so they can have that information. So in this process, we've discovered we're in an $8 trillion global market. And there's 1.6 trillion of that market right here in the United States. We've also found that there's 783,000 general contractors, and when just 1% of them subscribe to this robust solution, we'll be generating $47 million in annual revenue in just 5 years. Now that's a lot of jobs we can create here in Bend, and that's a huge safety net we can cast for thousands of contractors. Now, my team and I have already created a robust company, a $1 million company, apart from FiOR, where we go out in the field and we document construction sites from the ground up, and using cameras and drones and scanners to get that as-built information. But the problem was always streaming that to the clients. So we found a way to do that through FiOR. It gives them that as-built information. They can get their location and where they're streaming it to, and it can be offline in internet-deprived environments. So our customers are already subscribing. There's hundreds of users in our database looking at it, and we're just grateful. So today we'd like to invite you to join us on this journey of construction rehabilitation, remodeling the way safety is done, as it were, and giving an opportunity for these contractors to get home safely every day and provide for their families for years to come. Thank you.
Well done. Well done, Paul. Okay, so questions for Paul. Let's see our Menti.com screen. Paul, so how did you get into this?
Well, as I said, I started a business 10 years ago to go into the field and document this kind of information with contractors to give them a safety net. And we found a big hole in the industry with competitors. They weren't streaming high-resolution data. They weren't giving it to them where they're located. And they weren't giving them an offline viewer that was powerful enough to do this stuff in construction sites, which don't have internet most of the time. So we filled that gap. Yep.
Devon, I bet you have a question for Paul.
Yes, Paul. Man, I love the outfit. When you came out, yeah, I like
It's
that.
for real.
So what was your favorite part about building this company, and what is one thing that you're looking forward to as you continue to progress on the journey?
Oh, it's super creative. So this has been a dream child of mine for a long time in my team, and we're all professionals in the industry providing data, but this allows us to create our products that we know work. So we designed it kind of for ourselves, and then we found other providers needed it too, and so we've been providing it to a lot of different kinds of people. And it's just it's a creative endeavor to build a product that people come at you and say, hey, I love that product, or they come and rub shoulders with you and say, so what's the next thing you're going to bring out? And I just think that's amazing, and it's useful.
Awesome, awesome. So we have some questions for you, Paul.
Yeah.
How complete is the data typically? Does it vary as to the building age?
That's right. It is incomplete a lot of times, and that's the big problem with construction is they don't have accurate as-builts. And so really what we need to do is also push a narrative into the construction industry to go out there and document these buildings from the ground up. So we do our best with as-builts that are given to us, but we also, offer these scanning things out there in the field to get them that accurate information. But if it's there, we can get it to them.
Awesome, awesome. Next question. Are your current customers across the state, I'm assuming that says state, country, and world?
So our current customers are in the United States, not just in Oregon, but in California as well. And we are looking to expand into Europe. There's some compliance things that we have to get into place with the legal team, but we want to go globally because this is a product that can do that. Absolutely.
Nice, man, nice. Next question. What does it cost and how hard to learn?
I love that question. So we made it affordable for the builder and for the enterprise client. So if the enterprise wants the whole shooting match, we have 2 products on the market right now. They can get all of those, or the builders sometimes just need the photo product to stream the imagery, so they can get that. So we're looking at about $500 a month for that, and then $5,000 a year per product. And that's at a price point that's kind of hitting both worlds, and they really appreciate that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Paul, you're killing these questions, man. and audience, thanks for the questions again. Really appreciate it. What's your business model? How do you build users?
SaaS. So software as a service. They can go on the website and subscribe without any human intervention, and they can play around with free demos on the website as well, so they can get engaged that way. If they need a little bit more help, we'll go ahead and schedule a Zoom call or something, and we'll get on with them and show them a full demo, and then just get them engaged. We offer a free trial for a week, and by that time, they'll know if they need it or not, but it's a very automated system.
Great, great. How accurate is the location information? Within 1 meter, 1 inch? How?
Well, it depends on what we're talking about. So some of the data can be sub-inch, and some of it can be a few inches, but that's really where it comes down to. Especially the drone map data that we can host, you can get that down to a centimeter, depending on your survey control that you use to map the construction site. So that's a bit in the weeds, but you can get highly, highly accurate with this kind of information.
Great. Okay. How do you plan to access build plans if the original contractor wasn't a part of your network? That's a good question. Does this like the feasibility of the product?
Yeah. So the best thing we can do is aggregate as much data as possible for the construction site. And since we're selling software and providing this solution, we're going to leave it up to the general contractor or the people in charge of the project to aggregate that, but we're giving them a platform to do it with that gives them easy access for all their customers and all of their teammates to look at that. Unlimited viewers is part of our business model.
Awesome. Hey, Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, Paul. And if this doesn't work out, you can always hit up karaoke night as the Village People. Great pitch. Take it away, Devon.
All right, so next we have another company from Bend, Oregon, named Polaris. Polaris is an AI-powered site reliability tool that detects outages and incidents in the web application in real time. Please help me welcome, oh, there you guys go. Brian Love and Mike Ryan.
Thank you. Brian and I have been interviewing 30-plus software companies over the past year and a half to try and understand what their needs are around software development. And we've learned that the most important feature to them is reliability. We all hate it when an app we depend on is slow or buggy to use. We've also learned that stakeholders don't actually know if the apps they're responsible for are working. In fact, only 1 in 3 developers are deploying applications with observability tools in place. This means the only way stakeholders know if their apps are working is to wait for their customers to be upset enough to tell them. And by the time you've waited for your customers to be upset enough to tell you, you've lost a bit of their trust, and you have to start reacting to those incidents, disrupting developing new features. In one case, a client of ours spent $1.5 million over 12 months to fix reliability issues that they could have avoided if they had started measuring reliability early. So why aren't they doing this? Well, as a developer who was previously responsible for the reliability of mission-critical software, let me tell you why this problem exists. I'm going to pick on one of our competitors, Datadog. They generate $80,000 annually per customer, resulting in $1.2 billion in annual revenue. And according to a Gartner Peer Insights study, customers have repeatedly complained about the cost of Datadog. This makes it hard for me as a developer to get my stakeholder on board for purchasing this tool. Additionally, Datadog has a reputation of slow customer support and frustrating documentation, making it really hard for me as a developer to learn how to integrate Datadog into my app. Finally, its acquisition approach to building out an observability platform has just overall made the entire product offering confusing. They have over 40 features on the pricing page, making it so hard to understand what Datadog even is. So we're Polaris. We want to change the math around reliability and help developers build apps people trust. What is Polaris? Well, it's embedded into application code to deliver real-time insight into reliability, so stakeholders know if their apps are slow or buggy. And we intend for it to be easy for developers to integrate. It's low cost for them to use. And finally, unlike the competitors in this space, we're AI-powered from the start, dramatically simplifying onboarding, documentation, and integration. And we're the right team to build Polaris. My name is Mike Ryan. I'm the CTO, and I live in Portland. I'm a Google developer expert in web technologies, and I've built developer tools used by millions of developers worldwide.
Thanks, Mike. My name is Brian Love. I'm the CEO for Polaris. I'm also a Google developer expert, and I live, work, and play right here in Bend, Oregon. So the big question is how are we going to make money with Polaris? Well, in the United States, there are 17,000 SaaS companies, and they're generating $232 billion in annual revenue. So we estimate our total addressable market to be $139 billion. We're going to charge our customers a very simple pricing model compared to our competitors. It's $4.99 per app per month, along with a very small usage fee. And we're already onboarding some customers today, and we're talking to big companies like Capital One. In this initial round of financing, we want to go full-time on Polaris. We want to build out the product roadmap, and we want to expand our team and invest in engineering, sales, and marketing. We're Polaris. We help companies build apps people trust. Thank you so much. Good job, man.
Nice pitch. Okay, let's get our Menti code up there. Questions? Devon, nice to see you again.
I know.
I'm behind the curtain. I come back out. I present myself.
Look at this.
Yeah. What are some different aspects of an app that you can measure reliability? Broken links, server connectivity issues, etc.
Yeah, so we're a front-end SDK for developers in the room. That means that this runs on application code, and developers can use our SDK to measure any critical workflow. Using that SDK, they can measure either latency or overall failure rate. So when it comes to broken links or latency around API requests or just total degradation in general, our SDK would be able to monitor it depending on how the developer has integrated the SDK.
Nice. Next question. What's the role of AI in the application?
Yeah, I'm happy to take this question. So we kind of predict, and I think most of us are on board with this, in the next 1 to 3 years, pretty much every app that we're using is going to be AI-enabled. And so we're building AI into the foundation of our application, and we think AI plays a crucial role in really reducing costs and reducing the onboarding for users. So our product, we're targeting it towards the developer tooling space. So that means we're marketing directly to developers, and we're allowing them to champion the product internally in their company. And these developers may not be experts in what's called site reliability engineering. And so we can use AI to really make the product intelligent, to really smooth the process for them so they can build around best practices, around site reliability, without having to be an expert from the start.
Yeah, this allows us to build like an AI-powered documentation experience, for example. Developers can chat directly with an AI bot that's already trained on our documentation to figure out how to integrate Polaris into their application, speeding up their ability to get Polaris into their apps.
And I just want to say, like, AI, like, we're just cracking the surface. We have a lot of ideas between the two of us that we want to invest in terms of like building our own ML models in order to really build out like predictive, like knowing when degradation in service might even be coming before it even starts happening.
Awesome, perfect. Next question. How are you managing security risks since you are embedding these applications?
This sounds like one of our first customers because we've gotten this question a lot from the early customers using Polaris.
Yeah.
So the good news about our SDK is that it doesn't gather any PII or any like vulnerable information. At a high level, it only collects what browser the user is using, their rough geolocation using an IP lookup, and then things like their connection quality, whether it's 4G quality, 3G quality, or 2G quality. So in terms of the information we collect, we don't actually see ourselves having like a large security surface to think about or care about. In terms of the data we do collect, we only keep it around for a week. After that's completely expired out of our databases, out of our data storage, and we lose it entirely. So it's up to developers to make sure that they're not pushing any data into Polaris beyond what we're collecting that might be sensitive.
Awesome. Who do you sell to in an enterprise? Who's the decision maker?
Yeah, it's a great question. So decision makers are mostly like directors of engineering, maybe even in other companies, maybe a VP level or even a CTO. So it really depends on the size of the company. But usually the decision maker is somebody that's overseeing the development and they're like a stakeholder when it comes to the reliability of their software. So the CEO might be coming and kind of yelling at them, hey, we've got a problem with the reliability. We've got lots of great features, customers love our app, but people are complaining that it's not reliable enough. So our decision makers are usually kind of overseeing the engineering efforts at a company.
Cool. Oh, what is your sales cycle at the $4.99 a month price point?
Yeah, so the idea is that we're trying to keep it low enough cost. When we talk to some of those initial customers, we're learning is that like software engineering managers, that these are a little bit lower level in the overall hierarchy, they have automatic spend levels. So like as long as the price of a subscription doesn't exceed, say, 10K, they don't have to go to a higher up to get approval for it. And so by choosing that really low price point and then allowing self-service, we're choosing to do a developer marketing-led initiative where we're spending a lot more in marketing and encouraging developers to champion Polaris internally and keeping that price point low enough that they don't have to like seek a VP level or CTO level opinion to get that price purchased.
Yeah, and certainly like in an enterprise where you're going to have lots of apps, you're going to be paying that $4.99 per application. If you have lots of apps as you kind of scale up. And as we get into larger contracts, those would be longer duration contracts and negotiated pricing.
I see what you guys did there. That's smart. That's smart. What will you use new capital investment for at this time?
Yeah, so there's two parts to that. First is increasing engineering team size. It's just Brian and I developing the product right now, along with one part-time software engineer. We like to have 3 full-time software engineers alongside us to build out. We have an aggressive product roadmap that we've already defined for the next year. We want to try and get that product built as fast as possible. The other half is, like I mentioned, 2 out of 3 developers aren't using an observability tool. And we think a large part of that is market awareness. So we need to go spend a lot of time educating the market that tools like this exist. So that means spending on marketing in terms of going to where developers are. Podcasts, writing blog posts, going to software engineering conferences, meetups around the country, and going to them to tell them about observability and why they need to pick a tool in general, hoping they pick Polaris.
You guys just micro-machined those questions. Nicely done. Okay.
Great job, guys.
Great job. Back to you,
Thank you so
Devon.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, we have 2 more companies. So far, these companies have been great. Thank you all for asking or submitting your questions. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you for the love and support you guys are showing all these entrepreneurs. Again, it's not easy being up here, the light's shining on you, and these questions and all the things. So next company we're going to bring out is Keenan O'Hearn and Adam Rack with Revinco. Revinco is from Newberg, Oregon, is a wine bottle reclamation and sanitation service that collects, washes, and refill wine bottles in Oregon and beyond. Take it away, guys.
Hi, Devon. I'll teach you on this side. Okay, yeah. Very wonderful. Hello, everybody. We're honored to be here tonight. I'm Adam Rack.
And I'm Keenan O'Hearn. All right, quick show of hands, everybody. Who here loves a pint of beer? Maybe a fine glass of Oregon wine, a cold brew in the morning, or even a glass of water? Awesome, pretty much everybody.
And being the responsible citizens, trying to take care of the beautiful land surrounding us here in Bend. What do we want to do with our packaging when we're done? We want to make sure it goes the right place and recycle, correct? Gonna throw it in the bin, done with our glassware as well, right? That felt very wrong, correct? But the bottle felt fine. I mean, we do this to our bottles, but they're both in perfect condition, right?
So the real question is, why do we treat our glass bottle so differently from our glassware?
They're both made of the same material. It's over 60 million wine bottles were filled last year in Oregon alone. Just a small slice of the 16.2 billion glass jars and containers filled in the United States. Now, in our cupboards at home, we take those to the dishwasher, throw them right back in, they're ready for reuse, whereas even if we put these bottles in the recycling, they'll statistically still end up in the landfill. Our single-use economy overlooks a very simple reality, that the value of the glass after it's used is nearly the same as it was brand new.
So having grown up between sisters Oregon and the Netherlands, I witnessed in Europe a refillable ecosystem that was truly thriving, right? And I was shocked to find that the United States is the only industrialized country without a commercial-scale refillable system. Now, even Oregon's own bottle drop refillable bottles, beer bottles, are collected, exported, and then washed in Canada.
Now, wineries know packaging costs are rising quite a bit. We've heard that through the pandemic. And we're just starting to realize a lot of externalized expenses, like pollution or the theft of entire beaches of sand, the primary component of glass. And wineries are making bold commitments to reduce emissions, but unfortunately, with 30 to 60% of those emissions coming from packaging, there's no easy solution in sight.
So here's where Revinco comes in. We provide reclamation and washing services to wineries, building a local and sustainable glass supply network. We operate in an infinite loop, starting with manufacturing and distribution, moving to consumption and redemption, and finishing with then the washing and reuse of bottles. We partner with statewide redemption systems, distributors, and the largest glass manufacturer in the world. Our bottle is actually designed with input from over 70 different wineries and boasts carbon emissions of up to 85% at an attractive cost. Consumers are obviously looking for this on the shelf, and it provides a sustainable solution option.
To date, 43 wineries have committed to our bottles for 2023 bottlings, and we have a pipeline of over 100 additional interested wineries between Oregon and Washington. We've identified growth opportunities in expansion regions from California to New York and even Texas, where a group of 60 wineries has been looking for solutions to their glass waste issue. Revinco will provide those solutions.
By investing in this environmentally conscious approach, you help steward towards a future away from disposability and one towards circular economy and sustainability. Thank you so very much.
Well done. It's
Are you guys breaking things up here? What was that?
I think we broke the little clicker too.
Yeah. Before we get started with the questions, Keenan, I'm glad you made it.
Yeah.
He actually has a little one on the way.
I do.
So he made it here to pitch, and we're
Yeah.
all happy to have you. And
I was told I have 24 hours till he arrives. I drove down from Portland real quick.
well, I'm glad you made it, man. Glad you made it.
oh my God.
All right, so you guys ready for questions?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So how are your economics different from a typical recycling operation?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So, I mean, it's reuse. It's not recycling, right? So we're an entirely different industry. But glass is actually the one material in recycling that has been a paid. It's a negative value since 2013. So it costs recyclers about $30 a ton to get rid of it. So the metrics aren't really there for recycling alone. And it's heavy. You have to ship it distances. Whereas we sell our bottles for the first time around at $1 per bottle. We sell them again washed for around 90 cents a bottle. So wineries are committed to this. They understand the pricing. They understand what we're doing here. We actually get to buy packaging this year that we can reuse in 4, 5, 6 years down the road at whatever price it is this year. It's a wonderful solution that exists abroad, right? We see this everywhere else because it's financially very, very approachable.
Yeah.
Nice. How much is your business model dependent on the buy-in of other corporations and recycling centers?
Absolutely. I mean, we've had to marshal services across the entire industry, but those partnerships are also what makes this so effective, right? OBRC totes the most robust and redemption system in the entire United States, and they're a partner right here in Oregon. When we get to tap into those kind of organizations and those kind of systems, we ultimately get to drive the value and scalability of this business that much faster. And so we rely heavily on our partnerships, but that's because we know we can't obviously figure out glass manufacturing and distribution and production of these bottles. We just get to put it all together and make one circular economy.
Great, great. So does the solution only work with your company's bottles?
It doesn't. We can wash other glass, but this is the scalability. Our unique bottles that you saw up there on the screen were designed to be computer sorted through OBRC systems, through AI, automated. They use neural networks. That's not my side of it. But those were designed to be identified on the shelf, to be identified in the back-end system, to be sorted out from standard glass. So we learned this from other systems that tried this, both in the US and abroad, that these bottles have to be some sort of standardized product. And that allows them to go into automated bottling lines, things that are going at high speeds, whereas the failures before have been due to the hundreds of variations just in a single Bordeaux bottle or a single Burgundy bottle. There's hundreds of types on the market, and that sorting is just sort of a headache. So, but our wash facility is agnostic. So we will be washing OBRC's beer bottles as soon as that facility is online. We'll be sorting and reclaiming long neck beer bottles. All sorts of other bottles they can all go through our system: kombucha, water, soda. So,
yeah.
Nice. Do your bottles work with both cork and screw caps? What is the price difference for a winery?
Good question. Yeah, so the answer is yes. We also offer our bottle both in cork and screw cap versions, and so wineries are, buying and purchasing at different varieties for their different, production runs that they're going to do this next year. Everything comes back to us though, and we're able to sort via the two different finishes, so the caps. And then, what was the second part of the question? Is there a price difference? No, we're price parity with the market. So the beauty of it is that we've actually been able to look at the domestic glass market, and we get to be able to come in at a pretty competitive price. And so wineries get to, one, obviously reduce their emissions by 85%, which is really cool, but then two, not actually have to pay much more out of pocket, or if not any.
Or for a lot of wineries, we're more affordable glass. So.
Great. Cool. How do consumers return the empty bottles? That's a great question.
Yeah, so that partnership with OBRC allows us to go tap into their network. So all those 26 bottle drop locations across the state, we will be trialing our bottles in their green bag program as well. There's 99 or 100 now express drop-off sites. So and there's 1 million customers in Oregon, 1 million households have signed up for that program. And then we'll have our separate side, which is reclaiming bottles directly from the wineries themselves. There are some wineries that pour through 2 pallets of wine on site on a weekend, especially in the summer, or big events, wine clubs. There's all sorts of opportunities. It's really exciting to hear what our partners have come up with as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Keenan, Adam,
yes.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh, appreciate it.
Well done.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
You're on, Devon.
Whew. Such great companies coming out here. Well, we're at our last company, and I want to see more. So later this week, we're going to have more pitches. We got growth stage, impact stage, you know the things. So the next company we have coming out is Symphony Markets from Bend, Oregon. Symphony Markets is a streamlined SEC-compliant exchange for IP owners to list shares of their music while providing investors exposure to a stable, cultural, relevant asset class. Representing Symphony Markets today is going to be Chris Martin. Chris?
Thank you. Hi, guys. My name is Chris, and I'm the founder and CEO of Symphony, which is an SEC-compliant stock market for music, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. But before, I'm going to tell you guys how we got there. So I used to work in private equity, and when I was working in private equity, I saw a lot of larger private equity firms acquiring music catalogs, oftentimes for hundreds of millions of dollars. And I understood this on an inherent level, but I didn't understand the economics behind these deals, nor had I even really considered music an asset class until reading about them. So out of pure curiosity, because music was way left of the thesis of the firm I was at, I decided to do some research, and what I learned was fascinating. I learned that music is an uncorrelated asset class. It historically outperforms all of the traditional economic benchmarks. There's predictable cash flow in the royalties. And then, as opposed to other alts that you may be familiar with, like art or various collectibles, music throws out a dividend. In fact, between 2021 and 2022, Spotify increased its royalty payout by 40%, from $5 to $7 billion, which is crazy. So it began to make sense to me as to why private equity was making a move on this space. But on the other side, I was constantly hearing from all my friends about all the money that they were losing in stocks and crypto, naturally. So after talking to them about why that was and why they kept investing in these things, no one could give me a good answer. They didn't know what they were investing in. They didn't understand the assets. So I began to think about what it would look like to offer them exposure into an asset class that they do understand, like music, something that doesn't require the same type of due diligence as a niche biotech or a fringe crypto asset. So what I landed on was an SEC-compliant exchange of music royalty-backed securities, where private equity firms who have acquired music catalogs in the past can exit on a portion of their portfolio in the form of a Reg A securities offering to retail investors. Or retail investors are able to purchase shares of these assets, trade them in the secondary market like a stock, or hold on to them and collect a quarterly dividend in the form of a royalty payment. So so then I had to go find a team to help me build it. That's where I met my co-founder, Kyle, who has over 10 years of experience building financial software for companies like Apple. He's a perfect guy for the job. We went and we spoke to all of the major rights holders we can get a hold of, which is most of them, and they told us that they love the idea, but they want to see two things. They want to see users and lawyers. So we engaged with the top law firm in the space, Greenberg Traurig. They were across the Taylor Swift sale, the Bieber sale, and they represent all of the major artists that you can think of. And then on the user side, we've built a killer product where users are able to search the projected stock price of any artist that you can find on Spotify. In addition to that, you can link your Spotify account. We'll index your top 10 artists. You can compare that to other indices like the S&P, the Dow, even fine art. But most recently, we launched a feature that allows you to search themed bundles across the industry. So think about ETFs representative of genre, era, geographic location, award winners, anything like that. So that being said, we've spoken to the people who have the assets and they want to sell, and we've spoken to the people who don't and they want to buy. Symphony just sits in the middle, facilitating the transactions between the two of them. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Nicely done.
So, and we have Kyle joining us.
CTO Kyle.
CTO
Welcome to the stage. Yeah, it's on.
CTO/CPO. I built the thing. This is the pretty face.
Nice. Welcome to the stage.
Thanks, man.
You guys got Kendrick Lamar? That's my guy. You got that on there?
We will.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk. All right, first question. How are you able to compete with big name investing companies if they begin offering an alternative way to invest in music?
It's a good question. So we're an aggregator. It would be really hard for KKR to partner with Blackstone and Apollo to aggregate all of the assets in one, because there's a lot of competition there. With us, you get a standardized valuation model across all the assets. So what you see is what you get when it comes to the assets themselves.
Awesome. Awesome idea. Can you explain your business model?
Yes, I can. So we take a 5% listing fee of the opening value from the listing entity, and then in the secondary market, we take a 1.5% transaction fee on every transaction. A portion of that we give to the original creator of the IP, whether or not they still own their assets. So Bieber sold his catalog. Every time a Bieber share trades, he gets a piece.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Next question. How is this different from SongVest?
Good question.
SongVest?
Yeah. So we believe SongVest, or we consider SongVest kind of a predecessor to us. They've done a lot of great work, but they don't have a liquid secondary market or any real secondary market at all. They're more of an auction platform for royalties. And then in addition to that, we are going to be launching with those themed bundles that I mentioned, right? So it's really hard for a company like SongVest to, who maybe doesn't have enough traction or user growth, to turn around and go to private equity firms and convince them to give them assets. But with us, since we're super user-focused, we'll be able to provide curated assets representative that are of different corners of the music industry that are not only more palatable for investors and users, but also more advantageous for private equity firms who own assets but want to get users off or assets off their books.
Yeah, and a secondary market, if you don't know, is buying and selling between users, and no one has that right now, whereas a primary offering is going to be something like an IPO.
Yep.
Nice, nice. So liquidity of the asset, exchange traded or less, or like a less liquid bond marketplace?
Good question. So that's what we're working on right now. We're working on building that liquidity because that's going to be a cornerstone of our business. And obviously, like I said, a differentiator. In the beginning, we are looking to generate as much liquidity as we can pre-launch, so that we make sure that it's liquid for our users. But we don't see a lot of high volume trading coming until year 4 or 5, where there's institutional capital involved on the demand side.
Great, great. Next question. Can a retail customer sell their shares in an artist easily?
Good question. The answer is yes. Yeah.
Next question. That answer was perfect. That was great. What will be the hardest part of building your business over the next 18 months?
Users. So, the question that we get a lot is that, but users is the most important part of our business, right? We need to understand our consumer on the highest level, and we do, because we are our consumer, we are the demographic. So when it comes to building liquidity as the key differentiator, or one of the key differentiators of our business, it's going to be about getting users so we can come to these rights holders again with a super, super sharp value proposition.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but private equity follows the money. So whoever has the most users is really going to win the space.
Yep.
Great. Any other questions? I have a question.
Yeah.
See. Oh, we got another question. Do you see other types of royalty-backed securities listed in the exchange in the future, such as films, shows, etc.?
I love this question because the answer is also yes. So, music, we believe, is just the easiest way to pilot the idea of an IP exchange, a revenue-generating IP exchange like this. Music is super complicated, as I'm sure you guys can imagine. And these private equity firms have spent so much time and money on the due diligence, cleaning up the accounting of a lot of these assets, which is why we want to work with them, because it's time and money that we don't have right now. But in the future, once we have the working capital to clean up the finances behind a lot of these other revenue-generating IP, like movies and TV and things like that, and there's enough data to support a standardized valuation model, 100%. It's a no-brainer. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, I would have loved to get into the Barbie. Market, but can you buy futures and catalogs that aren't available for sale yet?
So you can't do that now, but that's in the plans for the future. Like I said, we are looking to build a fully functional stock market. Yeah.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Kyle, Chris, thank you so much.
Well done.
Symphony Markets. Thanks, guys. We did it.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Whew. Well, one more round of applause for all of the entrepreneurs up here. What a great job. What a great job. That was amazing. So I want to say on behalf of Portland Seed Fund that we look forward to investing in whoever wins. Maybe we decide to invest in more than one. Who knows? But I want to thank all the early stage competitors up here pitching their ideas. And that concludes our early stage competition for now.
That's right. Thanks, Devon. How about a round of applause for Devon?